Samsung have gone and made a beast with the Galaxy S21 Ultra this year. And of course, you have to compare it to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. What are the differences in hardware and performance overall? What are the upgrades? What are the differences in charging, processors, and absolutely everything? I'm going to compare the specs, prices, and everything we know about the S21 Ultra versus the iPhone 12 Pro Max in this video. Before that though, thank you to Avira for making this video possible. Avira is a free app for Windows, iOS, Mac, and Android that lets you protect your data from being shared with people that you don't want it to be shared with. Avira thinks data privacy is a right, not a privilege. So take care of your digital well-being in the new year, protect your privacy online, and download the free Avira app. When you download the Avira app on your smartphone, there's a smart scan tool that can check for privacy issues on your device. On iOS and Android, you get a call blocker to block out any unwanted numbers, a privacy manager to keep any Siri voice searches private. On Android, you get to scan all apps on your system to check how much data they actually collect on you, and an antivirus to block any spyware and other malicious apps, as well as a camera and microphone blocker for apps of your choice. Something Avira also gives you across all platforms is a free VPN. And if you follow the channel, you'll know that I started it in China and YouTube is absolutely blocked in China. So without a VPN, this channel wouldn't exist. I truly believe in VPNs for privacy and security. Download the Avira iOS, Android, and Windows apps completely for free. Protect yourself online and take control of your digital life in the new year. I will leave all the links to the free downloads in the description, so go and check those out. Samsung have definitely gone for something slightly different with the S21 phones this year. The S21 and the S21 Plus kind of being downgraded a little bit in certain areas to reduce the price. But when it comes to the Ultra, that is certainly not what they've done. They've really gone all out in terms of the hardware. So when it comes to the design of the phone versus the iPhone 12 Pro Max, Samsung have gone with this new design. You have this camera array design with the bezel from the side actually coming in right into the camera array. The iPhone 12 Pro Max, of course, actually having the biggest camera array of any iPhone ever. The camera array on that phone is bigger than the iPhone 12 Pro, the iPhone 12, mainly because of the camera hardware in there, the bigger main image sensor. The design on the back is certainly different between them, and the front, really the main difference is that notch versus the very small hole punch, and the screen size as well, just slightly different on the phones. The iPhone 12 Pro Max actually has the biggest screen of any iPhone 2. It's 6.7 inch screen this time around, although they did shrink the bezels a little bit to fit a bigger screen into that body. But the S21 Ultra is bringing an even bigger display, 6.8 inches this time around. This is apparently slightly smaller than the S20 Ultra came at. It is keeping a curved display though, so some big differences with design. Curved on the S21 Ultra versus flat on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And then you have the notch versus the hole punch. Now, Samsung are keeping a 40 megapixel image sensor for the selfie camera, but of course they don't have 3D Face ID and they don't have a speaker in the display front facing. The S21 Ultra is getting an LTPO display. This is a new type of screen technology that Samsung have started putting in their phones. In fact, they put it in the Galaxy Fold 2, the Note 20 Ultra, and now in the S21 Ultra. This screen display is just a little bit more modern, so it has better battery life overall, and it can change the refresh rate from high refresh rate down to low refresh rate, and that's something that the iPhone can't do. The benefit of this really is for battery saving. So when you don't need a high refresh rate, you can turn it down. When you do need it, like when you're gaming, you can turn it up. So better battery life overall from that screen technology. The iPhone 12 Pro Max came with actually the best camera system of any iPhone, and for the first time actually different than the iPhone 12 Pro even and the iPhone 12. So you have a brand new, larger main image sensor. You also have the 12 megapixel ultra wide and the 12 megapixel zoom, which got a slight increase to the zoom range. So it's 2.5 times zoom now. Apple call it 5 times zoom, which is kind of wrong. It's 5 times from the ultra wide, but from the main it's 2.5 times. Now, this is an upgrade and overall a very good upgrade, but certainly this pales into insignificance when compared to the S21 Ultra. The S21 Ultra will bring a brand new 108 megapixel main image sensor. Now this is upgraded from last year. The biggest differences here are just going to come with white balance and the look and feel and the style of the photos. So iPhone tends to be a bit warmer and Samsung phones tend to be a little bit cooler and contrasty. You can change this in the Photos app pretty easily, but that is really the main difference between iPhone and Samsung phones. When it comes to zoom range though, there's just no comparison to be made here. Compared to the iPhone 12 Pro Max at 2.5, which is optical zoom, the S21 Ultra has 10 times optical zoom. So you can press the 10 times on that phone and it's gonna zoom in a crazy amount and not have any loss of detail. You're gonna be taking a perfectly optically zoomed in shot at 10 times zoom. It's gonna be a 10 megapixel image. Samsung have apparently improved the periscope zoom in that phone as well. So you have fewer light refractions. Another spec where the S21 Ultra wins is with 8K video recording versus only 4K on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. In my opinion, it's not really a spec that should sway you either way. 8K kind of isn't there right now. It is supported, but you do lose some dynamic range. You do lose some stabilization as well. And I think for most applications, most people, 8K is just kind of overkill and there's not really a use case for it now. But if it is important for you, for sure, the iPhone doesn't support it. 8K is supported on the S21 Ultra. The battery size is also far larger on the S21 Ultra, 5,000 milliamp hours versus 3,687 on the iPhone. This is kind of misleading because obviously it's Android versus iOS. 5,000 though is a huge battery, no upgrade from the S20 Ultra, but you get a more efficient screen on the S21 Ultra. So we should be seeing better battery life than the S20 Ultra, which for me lasted about 1.5 days with normal usage. Charging goes to the S21 Ultra on the spec sheet as well. 45 watt versus 20 watt on the iPhone. And of course, wireless charging is kind of different between them. They're both Qi standard, but the iPhone supports a very low wattage with the Qi standard. If you want faster wireless charging, you do have to get a MagSafe charger or a MagSafe compatible charger. That's not the case on the Samsung. Any Qi wireless charger will charge at 15 watts on that phone. A very good spec. Wireless reverse charging is something the S21 Ultra has over the iPhone though, which doesn't have it. So if that's important for you, if you want to charge your earbuds or your Galaxy Buds Pro on that phone, then obviously the S21 Ultra does support it. There's actually 3 different processors going into these phones depending where you live. So every region for the iPhone has the A14 chipset, keeping its crown in 2021 as the best chipset in a smartphone. We've seen benchmark results from the Snapdragon 888 and the Exynos 2100. Very powerful. It looks like the A14 will keep its crown though. In my opinion, the 3 different chipsets in these phones will not give a significantly different experience in any of them. The Exynos 2100 is the most interesting for me this year because if you know about the Exynos chipsets, they have lagged behind the Snapdragon chipsets for years. There's been a huge gulf in performance. That's not the case this year. Exynos is coming back. It's getting way better. They ditched all the CPU cores that were giving them issues. They've gone with some better designs and the Exynos performance is much closer to the Snapdragon performance. So that means if you're in Europe or India or most other markets that get Exynos, it's very good news this year. On the spec sheet, the Ultra wins in most areas. The screen technology, the refresh rate, the battery is bigger. It has more cameras, longer zoom range, and faster wired and wireless charging overall. On the spec sheet, there is only one winner to be honest, but of course, that's not real world usage. There are many advantages to the iPhone as well. A lot of people like iOS. You of course get the App Store, services, and all the add-ons like the Apple Watch. Definitely different ecosystems here. And I'll put all of these specs of these phones on screen right now so you can see them, including the prices, and we know the price of the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the projected price of the S21 Ultra. It is a hefty Ultra phone with a hefty Ultra price. That's it for this one though. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you in the next one.